Tortora, here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. As I said, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, Cafe Kubal coming to you on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location in North Syracuse. So however you connect to Cafe Kubal, head out there today, warm yourself up with your favorite cup of joe, as well as some great chai, some teas, and all the wonderful things they have to offer, including all of those flavor shots that they make in-house, those spices and syrups that they put together for us right here in the community with the coffee made locally. Love the locally made, locally brought to you small business in all the wonderful things that Cafe Kubal does. I appreciate it. A cup of coffee goes a long way. And, of course, all of their awesome treats, their chocolate chip banana bread, their chocolate chips in general, and all the food they have to offer, as well as the local companies they support within Cafe Kubal to pay it forward to other people in our community. So many layers and so many reasons why you should go to Cafe Kubal today and get your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, or your snack, something for lunch, something for dinner, something for breakfast. Head out there to Cafe Kubal. And for those of you out of town, you can go to cafekubal.com. That's cafekubal.com. So, with that being said, inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin' inside of this Friday here, proudly presented in What's Poppin' by Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. We're going to start off the show as we always do with our trio of Friday segments, the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, focusing on today's topic, Don't Hide Your Spirit. Then we'll get into our announcement of who our top dog of the week is this week, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And we'll round out the show at around 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We will have Tay Baker on the broadcast for an all-new exclusive Bobcat Buzz inside of our multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse. We will feature in season the women's basketball head coach in his first season with the team as we continue to chronicle his story and his team story. Tay Baker of Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse women's basketball will join us here to speak on the Bobcats around 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. So, with that being said, a lot of great stuff coming up here where sports meets that thing called life. So let's jump right into it here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in the Annoying Moment of the Week. Folks, this is our longest standing segment on the show. It is currently in year 12, I believe, here with the Annoying Moment of the Week. So happy to have you here with us for everything that we do, including our longest standing segment, the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The Annoying Moment of the Week.
I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. For this week, folks, my annoying moment of the week. What shall it be, this annoying moment that we have here? What can I say is my annoying moment of the week? Well, last week, we had some that were set up well in advance because of things that had happened. My annoying moment of the week for this week, I would probably have to say, leading into our segment lead, is people not letting people be themselves. Just be who you are. Why do you care what other people are saying and doing out there? They're living their lives. Let them be who they are. You know, I think that that's definitely got to be one of my annoying moments of the week because people don't seem to like when other people are living their lives. It's not affecting you. It's not hurting you. It's not stopping you. But see, there's people in the world that instead of fighting for what they want, instead of going after what they want, they just get mad at other people for doing exactly that, right? Jealousy is an ugly thing, and it's a real thing, and it's a thing that happens a lot. People get jealous. People get ridiculous. People get mad at you for being successful, mad at you for signing up that company, mad at you for dating that girl, dating that guy, mad at you for buying that house on that street, on that block. People get mad. Knock it off. That's my word of advice to you all today. Knock it the heck off. You want to know why? Because you should not be mad at somebody else living their life to the best of their ability, okay? Sometimes you're going to want to date that girl, and she's going to date that other person. Sometimes you're going to want to date that guy, and he's going to date that other person. Sometimes you want to get that house, and that house is going to go to somebody else. Sometimes you want to get that job, and that job is going to go to somebody else. Sometimes you want to get that bagel at the mini mart, and that bagel, maybe that day, is going to go to somebody else. Sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes you walk in, and granted, I have had a lot of blessings, right? A lot of blessings in my life. A lot of things to be grateful for. A lot of things to be thankful for. You know? I walk in, my Kigley is sitting there at Lincourt Bakery waiting for me. You know? So, a lot of times, things work out, right? And sometimes they don't work out exactly how you want them to work out. Sometimes it's not exactly how you hoped it would be. However, it could still be beautiful. It could still be amazing. It could still be awesome. But this is what I don't do, and I would caution anybody else in this case. Do not wish bad upon other people. Do not wish for something that somebody else has. Do not go out here trying to disrespect and undercut other people. Because people are living their lives. And why aren't you living yours? Why aren't you trying? Why aren't you fighting? Why aren't you going out there doing the best you can? When you try to bite somebody else's stuff, it's sad. It's sick. It's weak. Okay? It's weak. You think it's strong? It's not strong. It's weak. Going after somebody else and somebody else's, what they have in their lives and what they're celebrating and what they're happy about, you taking from somebody else is not a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of somebody who doesn't believe they can go out there and achieve something on their own because you're taking it from somebody else. And that's not any way to live your life. I would expect better from this world, but this world has sadly let me down in many ways recently and in general. We need to be better to each other. Okay? Didn't we start praying with each other? Isn't that how we started off the year? We were praying, right? We were praying for somebody. And that's another annoying moment of my week. We were praying for DeMar Hamilton, but who's praying for Peyton Hillis? Why aren't we praying for Peyton? Everybody's praying for DeMar, but I've seen a few things praying for Peyton. Peyton Hillis, former fullback in the NFL, risked his life to save his children from drowning, and now he is trying to stay alive himself. He risked his life. There is no greater sacrifice. There is no greater sacrifice in this world than laying down one's life for another. And Peyton Hillis laid his life down for his children and is now fighting for his own life. And those kids, as much as he saved his kids, those kids need a parent. Or I shouldn't say, well, those kids need a father. I'm not saying they don't have their mom. Those kids need their father, right? Especially a father that would lay down his life for you. That's an incredible dad. So to me, why are we not praying for Peyton? We pray for DeMar. Why are we not praying for Peyton? We pray for both, right? You pray for everybody. I'm not mutually exclusive in who I pray for. If somebody says to me, hey, Dan, my aunt's sick, and my other friend says, hey, my aunt's sick, and I know this aunt, and I don't know that aunt, well, I'm going to pray for that aunt. I'm not going to pray for that one because I don't know her that well. No, I pray for everybody. I pray for everybody. I pray for people that don't like me. I didn't give them a reason not to like me. Never have, never will. It's not who I am. I'm not out there giving people reasons to not like me. But if you don't, I'm still praying for you and your loved ones. I'm still hoping for you and your loved ones to be well. You wish ill upon me, I pray good upon you. So my annoying moment of the week is the whole world stopped to pray for DeMar, and that's a beautiful and amazing thing, and I joined in that. Happily. But now I'm asking the world to come together and pray for Peyton Hillis, who risked his life to save his children's lives. Thank you, Amy. She said, oh my God, I love this. This is a great one. Wake up call. Perfect topic. Appreciate it, Amy. Thank you for that. But that's real, right? That's real. Be good to each other. Don't be mutually exclusive in who you pray for and who you care about. Okay? This world needs to stop with the nonsense of, I'm mad. Why? Because Stacy got it, but I didn't. Because Bob got it, but I didn't. Got what? Chase your dreams. Go after what you want. Okay? Go after what you want in your life. And understand, things are different, right? You can chase your dream, chase your career. But if you're trying to date somebody, they say no, right? You can't chase that. They say no, you say okay. You go to a job, you apply for it, they say no. You might keep applying, or you might go somewhere else and apply for the same job at a different place, right? When I say chase your dreams, go after what you want, it's understanding when something's a dead end, it's a dead end, right? And you move on, you move forward. If you want to be a singer, it might not happen with the first record label. It might not happen on American Idol. It might not happen on America's Got Talent. It might happen in a bar in the middle of Nebraska. But if you want it, and God will, if God wants that for you, and you want that, and you work together with God, and I'm a firm believer you can't do it without God. I know some people try to, and whatever, but I do it with God. And like I tell people all the time, you could be any religion or not a religion listening to this show. I appreciate you. I love you. I mean that. I send you my best. I believe in God. Don't let that offend you, because you're not offending me. We're just different people, right? I believe in God, and I'm not going to hide that. That's another annoying moment of the week for me. I'm not here to hide who I am. I'm not here to dim my light so that somebody else feels better about themselves, okay? I don't like that. I don't like that in society. Well, you can't talk about God. I had somebody tell me that on Twitter years ago. Dan, I like your stuff, don't get me wrong, but if you took God out of your profile, you'd probably get more followers, right? Because you're probably offending some people. And I said, I don't want them. I don't want them. If people can't appreciate who I am and what I am and why I am, I don't want them to follow me. I don't want them to be connected to me on social media. Right? Stop changing who you are. Stop. I've seen people do that. They change who they are because somebody made them feel bad for being successful, or somebody else isn't getting it right, so they want to take you down with them. How do you think people get involved with the wrong crowd? Because that crowd is like, oh man, don't try in school. Why? Because they get 70s. Because they can't. Because they struggle to study. Because they don't want to study. Because they don't care. Right? Maybe they don't care. Maybe it's harder for them to learn. I know for me, it takes me a lot longer to read something than other people. It just does. It take a lot longer to read. I can't I read it, got to understand it. If I don't understand it, I go back, I read it again. Not because I'm stupid, but because I just kind of hang on every word a little longer, right? So, to me, people got to make fun of people, right? They got to make fun of people for trying. Oh, man, look at that guy out there trying. Look at that guy good in school. Look at that girl good in school. Oh, man, she's such a pain in the butt, right? She's killing the curve. Why? When you do really good at work, oh, you're a suck-up. When your boss likes you, your teacher's pet, No, you're just good at your job. And your boss should like you, because that's going to help you excel your career and move forward. And those people that are making fun of, you're so close to the boss. Those people, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be right there. When you move up the company, or you go to another company, and you're CEO or COO or your general manager or whatever you may be, they're going to be sitting in that same lame spot that they were sitting in when they were 18. Now they're 43 years old. They're going to be in that same dang spot. Why? Because they don't try. Why? Because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves. And that's why they come at you. Because you are a reflection old to know my place. I come into a new radio station and I'm killing it. The guy that's been there, who's the head honcho, he wants to push me down. Don't you make me look bad, Dan. Why? Work harder. So, to me, people get offended and hate you and don't talk to you and ignore you because they hope that you will quit. They hope that you will stop. They hope that you will stop making them look bad when that is not what you are there for. You're not there to make them look bad. I've never worked hard at a job to make somebody else look bad. It was to make myself move forward. It's to make myself show God I appreciate the opportunity and I'm going to give it back. I have never worked my butt off to make somebody else look bad. I work my butt off because I work my butt off because I want to do something, make something out of my life, because when I'm done with this life, I want to be able to reflect on my story and be happy about what I'm reading. Right? I'm going to say that again. You're writing a story. Your life is a story. Everything you do is in a book. So picture at the end of your life that God hands you your book. He hands you Dan Tortora's life, right? Stacy whatever's life, Bob whatever's life. He hands you your life, Amy's life, Pete's life. He hands it to you. Do you want to read it right now? If you don't, you better change it. You better do something with it, because that's the book. At the end of my life, I want to be able to go back and look and say, did I do everything, right, that I aspired to do? Did I stop doing something because I was scared? Because people were jealous, because people were mad, because people threatened me, because I felt bad, because I dimmed my light to make somebody else feel better. If I say yes at any point to that, that is not a good part of my story. You should not be dimming your light to make somebody else look bright. Don't do that. That's how people get caught in the wrong crowd. That's how people get in trouble. That's how people end up becoming pieces of society that they didn't want to be. There are a lot of people out there that don't try. There are a lot of people out there. I don't know why Amy said, oh boy. I want to know why you said it, Amy. There are a lot of people out there that don't try. And they won't tell it to you because they got to be big and bad. But it's because they're scared. I think 99.9% of the time that people don't try, it's because they're scared. They don't want to fail. They don't want to fail. They don't want to get laughed at. It is easier to laugh at somebody else than it is to try. It is easier to laugh at someone else trying than it is to try. That's why a lot of people don't try. Because they can gang up together. Look at that guy out there trying. Look at that guy. I bet you, if you walk into a restaurant today, and there's a guy at the register trying to ask the girl out. Oh, Amy said there are parts of my book that are adventurous. Yeah, me too. Adventurous down paths. I said sometimes I cut a hole open to the gates of hell just to see what the demons look like, I guess. I didn't want to, but now I know what they look like. They nasty. But think about it. Today, you go to a diner, and here's a guy. Got his food done, getting ready to leave, and he goes up to the hostess table, and he's trying to ask that girl out. It is so easy for you to go, look at that idiot over there. Look at him asking that girl out. She ain't going to say yes. Look at that. Look how stupid he is. Right? And if she says no, or I have a boyfriend or something like that, they're going to go, ha, told you. Ha, that's why you don't try. But you know what that guy just did? Something that point 0.0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000% of society does. Try. He tried. And maybe she said no. And maybe it's because she has a boyfriend. Maybe it's because she's not interested. Maybe it's because she's not attractive. Maybe it's because she just went through a bad relationship. Maybe it's because she doesn't think she deserves it. Maybe it's because of a million different reasons. But that man did it today. He did it. You didn't. You watched. You laughed. You never do it. You would never. You're laughing. Look at that guy. Well, that guy is the guy that you probably want to be. The guy who has the guts to stand up, walk up to a stranger, and say, hello, miss. I know you probably get this a lot. I understand that. And you might say no, and you probably have a boyfriend because you are beautiful. But I would love to take you out for a cup of coffee sometime, and I just wanted to know if I could. You know how hard it is to do that? Do you know how hard it is for a man or a woman to do that? It's very hard. But When somebody does that and somebody ridicules them, that says nothing about that man or that woman. It says a lot about you that's laughing, because that's what life is. A lot of people laughing at other people, but you're not trying, right? Ha 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 ha. What do you do for a living? And then there's some people that'll turn around to, Dan, I work on Wall Street. I'm a Fortune 500. Well, that's great. But seeing how you treat this stranger, I don't like you. I'm not coming to your Fortune 500 company, and I'm not buying what you're selling on Wall Street. Peace, bro. I'm out. Because the fact of the matter is, if you are truly living your life to the fullest, doing the best you can with morals and values and faith, and in my opinion, God, if you are living your life in that respect, you are not making fun of other people. Now, do I tell jokes about things that have happened in my life? Yes. Am I here to make fun of other people? No, I'm here to make fun of the situation that that person created in my life. I never want somebody to feel bad. I don't want somebody to come to my comedy show, hear a story, go, oh my gosh, that was me, and go home and cry. I don't want that. I use comedy as a way to deal with the pain that I feel and that other people feel, that I can hopefully bring you to a better place from where you are right now, and bring me to a better place from where I am right now. That's what I hope to do when I bring comedy in. I'm not here to hurt any of my ex-girlfriends. If you ask me, and people might think I'm crazy when I say this about my ex-wife all the time. I hope she's happy. I hope she's got a great career. I hope she has kids if she wants them. I hope she raises them up and is a great mom. I hope she has great friends around her. I hope her family is healthy, happy, and safe. Her friends are. I hope she meets the right guy. I hope he's healthy, happy, and safe. I hope they have a great marriage together, and I hope she treats him a heck of a lot better than she treated me, because she did not treat me that great. But there were moments where she treated me good. And I hope that she takes those moments and turns them into an everyday thing so that she can have a life of happiness, because I believe everybody should have that. And some people tell me I'm nuts. Why would you wish happiness on your ex-wife? Because it didn't work out with us. It doesn't mean I want ill upon that woman or her family. Yeah, somebody might have done me wrong, right? I wasn't perfect. I made mistakes too. And I learned from them. And I hope she learned from hers. And we weren't supposed to be together. So why wouldn't I wish the best for her? I'm happy I'm not with her. Not because I'm an evil man, but because she wasn't good for me. But she could be great for somebody else. And I hope she is. I hope she is. And if I never find the right person for me, at least I stayed away from the wrong people. At least I got out of those relationships. At least I left that job where my boss laughed at me after they made me a promise that they didn't keep. Right? My company was started after I was lied to and used. I said enough is enough. Right? I had 27 cents in my pocket, $103 in my bank account. And that's when I started my company. If you're waiting, people say this all the time. Oh, well, I'll find the right person once my career is set. Well, I'll know my career is set when I'm making X amount of dollars. Well, I'll have kids when I know that I can do that. No, this is how life works. I'm not saying go out there and be stupid. But that's not how life works. Life does not go, hello. Hello, Beth. Are you ready for everything that I'm about to give you? Well, here it is. You know what I mean? Life doesn't come over to you and say, hey, Todd, you got everything set? Got all your ducks in a row? All right, well, here you go. It's not how life is, right? Even if you had the money, the time, you got everything set up to have the kid, you have the crib, you're still going to experience stuff as parents that you're not going to be prepared for. It's just going to happen. It's just how it is. Okay? Life cannot be scripted. Movies can, but life cannot be scripted. It can't be scripted. And you're writing that story every single day. Do you want to read the story you're writing? And I'll tell you right now, folks, you will regret. You will regret in your life if you stopped doing something because you stopped doing something in your life that was good. You stop chasing your dreams, going after your career, asking that girl out, asking that guy out, going for that house, moving to that place because of guilt. If you don't do things because of guilt, because of jealousy, because of hate, because of envy, because of people laughing at you, you will regret your life. You will. The annoying moment of the week is not simply the knuckleheadery, and if I made up a word, good, the knuckleheadery of people laughing at people trying, but it is when you don't try. That's even more of the annoying moment of the week. You don't think I got laughed at all the time. I got laughed at when I played basketball. I got laughed at when I'm out there singing. I got laughed at when I was out there trying to get good grades. I got laughed at when I started my company. I got laughed at when I left traditional radio on my own. I got laughed at when I started my own company. I got laughed at when I asked for money from businesses as I started this new template that I didn't go off of anybody's template. I went off of my template. I built this thing with God. Just us. Us. If you want to have a life that you want to read when you're done here, and God willing you're in heaven, I suggest to you 2 things. Stop laughing, making fun of, and trying to hurt and guilt and shame people for doing the best that they can, and start doing the best you can. Okay? Life is not that hard. Human beings make life hard. We make life hard. Do you know how many times I tried and I heard no? Do you know how many times I went after something and it was a dead end? But do you think I care about that stuff? No. No. I did, but I don't now. Because if all those places didn't say no, I wouldn't have my own company right now. If those teachers in my college didn't try to backdoor me, grown adults that were supposed to be leading me and teaching me and helping me, if they didn't seek to hurt me when I was in the hospital, mind you. They didn't just dog me, they dogged me when I was in a hospital bed. If they didn't dog me, I wouldn't have learned about how much of a business this business is. People that tried to hurt me, that tried to make me fail, people that did me dirty, that tried to backdoor me, that laughed at me, that ridiculed me, that put me down, that tried to get me to second guess myself and be paranoid and hate myself. All of those people in all of those situations helped to make me the man I am today. Y'all tripped up and made me successful. Kudos. Respect. But you know what I mean? We need adversity to grow. We need people to be knuckleheads to grow, right? You need the person that you're dating or married to be a knucklehead sometimes so you get away from that relationship. You need sometimes to be put in situations that you don't want to be put in so that you can really test your mettle. How strong are you? How courageous are you? How much do you want it? Clarity. Clarity doesn't come from sitting on a couch, right? Sometimes you sit on the beach, you get some clarity. Yes, you can. I'm saying that. You can. But clarity comes when you have to go through stuff and you have to realize stuff and you have to break it down. If you spend your whole life running from things, you're going to run yourself right into your grave. And then you're going to be laying in that grave going, what the hell was I running from? My life? Because now it's done. I just chased myself into my own grave. How stupid is that? People's opinions matter. Why? Because of social media. Because it's instantaneous. I use social media to do good. Not everybody does. But social media, that's what social media is. To tell people to stop trying. Look at that idiot. Ha 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 ha. That's what social media has become. Listen to your heart. Listen in prayer to God's voice. Listen in prayer to God's voice. If that offends you, it's because you're afraid to. Listen in prayer to God's voice. Because if you're afraid to do that, what you're telling me right now is you've either done something or not done something that you're ashamed of. Why are you afraid to hear from God? It's your dad. Right? Why do kids not call their parents sometimes? Because they're ashamed, because they're afraid. So why are you not calling on God? Because you're ashamed, because you're afraid. How about you try it before it's too late? So be a good person and start living your life instead of stopping somebody else from living theirs. Okay? I'm not saying do bad things out there. I'm never saying that. That's a precursor to everything I say. I'm never saying go do something bad. I'm only talking about go do something good. Doing something bad, you should know that that's wrong. But when you're out there doing good things and you're fighting and you're trying, man, you got to stay the course. The greatest minds in the world, greatest people in the world, greatest discoveries of the world, those people were made fun of. Remember when they thought the earth was flat? When somebody said, hey, I'm going to put light inside of this little casing. I don't know. Instead of just needing the sun, I'm going to create light. I'm going to put it inside this casing and I'm going to screw it into something and it's going to turn on and you're going to have light in your house when it's dark. People are like, you're nuts. Right? I'm going to build this thing called the internet. I'm going to connect people all over the world to each other. Yeah, okay, you can't do that. You can't make an invisible highway. Look at it now. Walt Disney was allegedly told over 700 times that his plan would never work to build a year-round amusement park, that nobody would go for it. The people that you look up to and you hear about all the time were ridiculed and tried to push, and were pushed into quitting. Tried to be pushed into quitting. Think about that. Think about if Walt Disney had quit. If Albert Einstein had quit. Think about all that. Think about those moments. If Thomas Edison had quit. Think about it. Abraham Lincoln had gone, you know what? Whatever. You can have slaves. You won't have slaves. That's fine. Think about if he quit. Right? Think about if the United States, after John F. Kennedy's assassination, was like, no more presidents. We quit. It's too scary. Think about if people quit in society, in our history, if they quit. What would have happened? Everybody gets laughed at. Everybody gets ridiculed. How are you going to respond? You're going to curl up in a corner and wait to die? Or are you going to rise up, stand on your own 2 feet, or if you're in a wheelchair, wheel yourself up to where you need to be? Because to me, a wheelchair, a bed, crutches, whatever, nothing stops the people that want it. Nothing. Nothing physical, nothing emotional, nothing social, nothing economical, nothing spiritual. Nothing stops somebody who truly wants to achieve good things. Unless you let it. So stand up, get up, and go do it today. Why? Because your life's depending on it. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Thank you, as always, to the Annoying Moment of the Week from Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and we are always happy to have the opportunity to share the Annoying Moment of the Week with you and to share a Sunday with you. Remember, Wednesday is Sunday. Buy one, get one at Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products. offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cubal needs. Cafe Cubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life, and always happy to be here with you. Do want to make note inside of these Cafe Cubal studios of these awesome pieces that we have here inside of the studio. We got a bunch of stuff and always looking to bring in more. The 315 sign, these are from, all the stuff I'm about to show you is from Witty Wicks on 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus, New York, voted for the third year in a row to be your #1 gift shop spot in Central New York. So head out to Witty Wicks today, the 315 sign. I gotta smell this. So apple, maple, bourbon, ton of different candles at Witty Wicks. You got to get yourself out to Witty Wicks today and try some of their amazing candles. And of course, if you want to snuggle up on a cold day or on a warm day, you want to put it on the bed, relax on it. 315 Syracuse pillow with the new dome in it and the Cuse Home Sweet Home. And of course, you can also get into your central and upstate New York by hanging these on the wall, hanging them on their door, bringing it to college with you. Let people know where you're from. Upstate New York sign that we have here, little piece that we have here. And of course, as I've showed you these before, the Upstate New York, which you can actually buy this on their apparel as well, that logo. And you can buy this on their apparel as well. They have the 315 hats and the 315 hat that has this as the one. They have the upside down light right by Coleman's as the one. So the 315, that one is the upside down light there, which is really, really cool. So you can go and get any of this stuff at Witty Wicks today, 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus, New York, right in front of Movie Tavern. And, of course, you can go to wittywicks.com as well. With that being said, inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', our next piece of today's broadcast brings us to LEAD. Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. That is the acronym that I created with God a few years ago. And I say I created it with God because I was looking for something special to do. And I was like, you know what? I want an acronym. And I was thinking about, like, I want an acronym that has a word that has meaning on its own, a word that has strength on its own. And then to have that word actually break down into something. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is what I came up with. And by the grace of God, and I always say by the grace of God, because to me, I can't do anything without God. None of these ideas strictly come just from me. To me, they come from somebody working with me every day and being my best friend. So today's topic for LEAD, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Don't hide your spirit. And it's something we started to talk about. Like I said, the annoying moment of the week seems to transition perfectly into LEAD every week here. And again, I don't find that to be a coincidence. I call that a God incidence. And so looking at don't hide your spirit. Well, Dan, that sounds pretty self-explanatory, right? Don't hide who you are, right? But your spirit, to me, that's your truth. That's who you are, really, right? Your spirit, who God made you to be. It's what you are. No matter how much you fight it, it's who you are inside. Don't hide your spirit, because you're special. You've heard me say it on the show before, that even identical twins are not completely the same. Even identical twins are not completely the same, right? One's quiet, one's louder, one's introverted, one's extroverted. They have different senses of humor, right? They have different careers. One of them wants to be a professional basketball player. The other one wants to be a nurse, right? It's different. Even identical twins are different. Even they are different. So hiding your spirit is hiding a purposeful creation by God. And if you take that purposeful creation out of the world, if you hide it, if you hide you, guess what? There's no other you for the world to go, oh, okay. Well, Sharon hid herself. Thank goodness that Kathy is just like Sharon. No, not everybody is completely the same. So when you hide your spirit, you dim a light that cannot be shined anywhere else. That light cannot shine, and it can't just be created somewhere else. When that light dims, it's gone. It's gone. So when God looks at, think about God looking at his children like you looking at the stars. There's a ton of stars out there. But if one of them goes out, no star takes its place. You look into the sky and you see it all, right? If any part of Orion's constellation went out, there's no other star to just swoop in there and say, I'm going to be part of Orion. No. Once it's gone, it's gone. If we lost our sun, what would we become? Right? So, when you dim your spirit, think about God looking at his children, you looking at the stars. If you dim your spirit, then God looks out and sees one of those stars go away. And if enough people dim their spirit, we have total darkness. Because as much as you may not want to believe it, we're working together towards something. Human beings by nature are social, connected, right? Even I, who owns my own business and I'm the president and CEO, I work with people every day through interviews, through business partnerships, through going to games, covering events. I'm working with people every single day. I'm texting people, sending emails, having meetings, going to stuff, setting up every day. Every day. Even in owning my own business, I work with people every day. Right? Because people say, oh, you own your own business, you could just work as you. You don't have to worry about none of that knuckleheadery that we have to deal with. Being in this office all day. You're not in the office all day. You're in your office. You can work for you. You have your office. You have your studio. You have your place of peace. You don't have to deal with anybody. I got to deal with people all the time. I got to deal with health insurance. I got to pay bills. Right? I got to see people all the time. I got to talk to people all the time. Even as a business owner at the head of my company, I am dealing with people all the time. Because no matter how you slice it, working together is something that you have to learn how to do, and you have to learn how to do well. Because if you don't, you're not going to succeed in life, right? You got to work with others. You got to play. Why do they teach you that in the sandbox when you're in kindergarten? You got to play well with others, right? Share your sandbox, share your toys. You got to learn how to play well with others, or we're doomed to fail. It's reality. So when you hide your spirit, you're not just hiding your spirit, hurting yourself. You're hurting the sky. That sky full of stars. Because if enough of those go out, now it's dark everywhere. And to the people that love you, if all those other stars light up the sky, but they know that your star is gone, that's going to hurt them too. It's going to make them sad. Because you might think that you're not anything, right? That you're not important, that you're not successful, that you're not pretty enough, you're not funny enough, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough. But I can promise you, to somebody out there, you may be their beacon of hope, their beacon of light. Do you know how many successful actors, actresses, athletes, singers, songwriters, directors, and on and on and on? Do you know how many of them think that they're not that great? Right? You say, Dan, not many. Okay, well then why have many of them taken their lives? Right? Chris Farley. Some people consider him the funniest person they've ever seen. Anthony Bourdain. Traveled the world, met awesome people, ate great food, probably for free. Right? Who wouldn't want to hop on a jet, go to France, and eat at the best restaurant they have in the entire country? For free, and get to talk about it in a place where you can't get reservations for like 3 years. Kate Spade. Okay? How many women love Kate Spade? Love the purses. Love everything that she brought to the table. Everything that was part of that company. And people love that stuff. They eat that stuff up. You buy somebody a Kate Spade purse, you're saying something about, hey, listen. Special gift for you. Right? I want you to look good. I want you to feel good. I want you to go out there and have a good time. Look at that. So even the people that you look up to the most don't always think that they're that great. Right? And if they dimmed their light, if they stopped making the movies, if they stopped writing the songs, well, Dan, my life would be sad then. I don't want to live in a world where such and such doesn't make movies, or this person doesn't write music, or this person doesn't put their artwork out there on display. I don't want to live in a world where comic books stop being made, but people have told them to hide their spirit, to dim their light. You think that Stan Lee wasn't told to quit? Or that he'd be nothing? You think that when Marvel was bankrupt, that everybody in the building thought, yeah, let's start our own studio company and give it a shot and see if it works? You think some people were like, we're nuts. It's going to fail. We've already failed. That there weren't people that thought that way. You think when a singer hasn't come out with an album in a really long time and they want to come out with an album, that they're not sitting here going, I wonder if people forgot about me. Everybody on this planet at some point was asked to dim their light, to hide their spirit. And if they listened to it, you wouldn't have the music that you're listening to. If they listened to it, you wouldn't have that comic book you're reading. If they listened to it, you wouldn't have that teacher in the classroom. If they listened to it, you wouldn't have that first responder there to save your life. If they listened to it, you wouldn't have that politician that actually cares about the people and is trying to change what government is from the inside out. If they listened to dimming their spirit, you wouldn't have that police officer still protecting and serving. I want to talk to the cops for a second here. Because obviously in every walk of life, there's not great, right? There's pilots that are probably not that, they probably shouldn't be pilots. Police officers that shouldn't be police officers, right? People in the media that shouldn't be in the media. And when I say that, you say, Dan, how can you say that? You just said don't hide your spirit. Hear me out. If you're a police officer with prejudice, racism, sexism, you shouldn't be out there protecting and serving because you're only protecting and serving some people. If you're in the media with an agenda, you're only giving the information that you want to give to meet your agenda, so you're not necessarily always telling people the truth. If you're a pilot who has an alcohol problem and you're flying a plane, you probably should get that problem figured out and quick before you get behind the wheel of a plane. That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's behind the motif of the statement that I'm about to make. I want to say something to police officers specifically right now and law enforcement in general. To the lawyers, to the police officers, the sheriffs, the troopers, everybody. Thank you for not dimming your spirit. Thank you for not dimming your light. Because in today's world, anarchy and chaos are really trying to rule the day. And there are people that I know that stopped being police officers because it just wasn't safe anymore. It didn't feel good to be one anymore. Because of how the world was looking at them, they were terrified to go to work and arrest anybody, thinking that it was going to be turned and twisted into a story by the media that was going to ruin their lives and the lives of their families when they're just trying to save and protect and serve. If I suited up today to be a cop, I'd be thinking in my head, okay, if I arrest somebody who's not the same color as me, are they going to say I'm racist? Okay, if I arrest a woman, are they going to say that I'm sexist and I'm domineering her and I'm mansplaining something to her? If I go into this business and not that business because I got called into this one, are they going to say that I'm treating a business better than the other business? Cops shouldn't have to think about any of that stuff, right? I walk into a farmer's market, somebody's got a gun pointing at people. I don't care what color you are, where you came from, what your religion is, what you own, how much money you got, where you are in society. You could be the mayor, you could be a peasant living on the street. In your brain, whatever. I don't even like the word peasant, so let me take that out because I can't stand that word. You could be somebody living on the street or you could be the mayor. I'm still going to arrest you if you have a gun and you're pointing it at people. Right? Good and bad, in some cases, is very clear. In other cases, it is gray. But I want to thank police officers and law enforcement people and lawyers and everybody that's involved in protecting and serving that takes that badge of honor appropriately and with humbleness and with pride. And I want to thank you for not giving up. Because the way that cops have been treated, I wouldn't have been surprised if all the Syracuse cops handed their badge in and said, all right, you want anarchy? Have anarchy, because we don't feel safe anymore and we don't feel like we can trust anybody or be trusted, and we honestly feel like doing our jobs is somehow doing the wrong thing, so we're not going to do it. I was concerned of that day. That's what Gotham City is, folks. Sometimes we can learn from comic books. Sometimes we can learn from TV shows. Like I've learned, we should never make humanoid robots, because that would be the worst decision ever, to make something built with steel, right? Or some other precious metal, whatever it may be. You build something with steel, All it has to do is be reprogrammed to kill you. And what are you gonna do when something made of steel is strangling you? You're gonna shoot it? Bullet's gonna bounce off and hit you. So why would we make humanoid robots? Because we're lazy? Well, the opposite of get up off the couch and get yourself something to eat is let me build this robot who can kill me in my sleep, and I can't do anything to stop it because it's not human and it doesn't bleed. So, there's things that I look at in society, TV shows, comic books, whatever, that we can learn from. And watching the show that I've been watching, Titans, it's all about the fall of society. It's all about the fall of checks and balances, the fall of law enforcement, the corruption of it. And that Gotham City really becomes a cesspool, a breeding ground, a nesting ground for just anarchy and chaos and evil. And so that's where we're heading when you say, we don't want any cops. We don't want this. We don't want that. I want to thank everybody who doesn't dim their light and who they are. And I just feel compelled this morning, I didn't plan on doing this, but I feel compelled this morning to thank everybody in law enforcement who hasn't dimmed their light, who hasn't quit, who hasn't run away from a very unique and crappy situation where anarchy and chaos are trying really, really hard to mask themselves as something good, when in actuality, they just want to watch the world burn. And for those of you that won't let that happen, I appreciate you and I applaud you and I thank you. When I go to sleep at night, because there's firefighters and first responders and people, EMTs and those in the ambulance and sheriffs and troopers and police officers and lawyers, and judges, because all of you that are doing, and granted, the caveat of you're doing things the right way with morals and values, for all of you that are doing that with morals and values, that hold those jobs, that help me to sleep peacefully, thank you. Because if you dimmed your light, the only light that we would see in this world is fire. So thank you for not giving up on us, even though some of us, unfortunately, gave up on you. And I hope those people change their mind. This is Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. We'll take a step aside for a fast break where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and be back with our Top Dog of the Week announcement right after this.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicoli's.com. That's myaviccollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And then them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios here on 3501 James Street, and we appreciate you being here with us inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York, as well as on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location in North Syracuse, and on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, in their giant behemoth of a brown stripe building, which I call the Welcome Center to Manlius, as it's where all the roads converge into Manlius. You will find Cafe Kubal. Can't miss it. Stop in there today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, or you could say DT sent me your way. With that being said, as we continue on with our trio of special signature segments every Friday on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of MonPausPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. The Annoying Moment of the Week brought to you by Carvel DeWitt. We also brought you Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay presenting Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Today's topic, Don't Hide Your Spirit. And now it's time for us to announce our top dog of the week. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse. Our top dog of the week this week, folks, I would have to tell you that in my opinion, my top dog of the week is got to be, without question, like, Dan, you're Ryan Seacresting this thing, aren't you? I am. So, my top dog of the week this week, folks, I would have to say, goes to, without question, without hesitation, my Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I give them the top dog of the week because this was a team that went from last place to first place from last season and the season before to this season. The Jacksonville Jaguars were the 32nd team of 32 NFL franchises last season.
They were the 32nd team of 32 NFL franchises the season before. And now they are a playoff team. A playoff team. From last place the last 2 years, getting the number one pick in the draft in each of the last 2 years, to now being one of the teams, one of the 14 teams that advances to the playoffs by winning their division, being the victors of 6 of their final 7 regular season games, defeating the Tennessee Titans, which is atypical for them. Tennessee came in to they came into this season with a record of 33-4 and 33, or I would say, well, they had 34 overall. So they came in this season with a 34-21 record against the Jaguars. 34-21. Now that record is 34-23, as Jacksonville got both wins this season, which is very hard for them to do against the Tennessee Titans, who have been a thorn in their side for many years. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, my top dogs of the week. I talk about don't hide your spirit. Don't hide who you are, right? I'm a Jaguars fan. People make fun of it. They boo it. Why would you do that? That's stupid. Right? Why would you be a Jaguars fan? Why would you like such a terrible team? Why would you be a fan of the worst team? Why would you be a fan of a team that's not even going to... How many times people told me, oh, the Jaguars are going to move. They're not going to stay in Jacksonville. Blah, 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 blah. People make fun of you for wearing the gear. They make fun of you for cheering on the team. They make fun of you for talking about the team, going to the games. Who would be a Jaguar fan? Nobody in their right mind. Yada, 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 yada. Right? But you don't hide your spirit. And the Jacksonville Jaguars hearing that. How terrible they are, how much they stink. Trevor Lawrence probably heard, oh, you're going to that team? Well, you've won everywhere you've gone. Get used to losing now. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Why would somebody go to Jacksonville? Why would you be a Jacksonville fan? That's what you hear. But they didn't hide their spirit. They didn't dim their light. I didn't hide my spirit or dim my light. I wear my Jacksonville Jaguars stuff all year long. So they're my top dogs of the week because, going off of lead, don't hide your spirit, they didn't hide their spirit. They didn't hide who they were and what they were about and their work ethic and their dedication and their determination, their faith. What I love that Zay Jones said about the Jaguars is he said, you see in big business and big organizations around the world that God and faith are kind of hidden, right? It's shushed. That's what he said. He said in big business, God is shushed. He said here in this building, God is pushed. So in all these big businesses around the world, God is shushed. But here with the Jacksonville Jaguars, God is pushed. Out there. Talk about it. Be about it. Live it. Be proud of it. When I asked him about the success, and I asked him about this team, and I asked him about his faith, he said to me, and you could go back and listen to it on any one of our outlets, my interview with the Jaguars on the Prowl Playoff Edition, bunch of the Jaguars, including Zay Jones, available on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. That conversation with Zay Jones, he said, in a lot of big business places, God is shushed. Here, he is pushed. Right? Here, push to talk about. Talk about God. If you believe in God, put it out there. Don't hide it. So, being who you are, the annoying moment of the week, overcoming people that try to make you feel bad for who you are, not dimming your light in lead, to the top dog of the week, those who heard the naysayers, heard the anger, heard the negativity, heard the hate, had people not show up to the games, had people try to dim their light and the lights of their fans, and yet the fans showed up 70,000 plus for the final regular season game. God willing, they're going to show up 70,000 plus again, hopefully more than the 70,050 we could set more on top of what we already had this past week. The fans showed up, the players showed up, the coaches showed up, the front office showed up, the media relations showed up, the media showed up. And we had ourselves a game. A game that everything was on the line, and a team that was in last place the last 2 years came through to win their division, get a home playoff game, and make the playoffs. The Jacksonville Jaguars are my top dogs of the week because they didn't dim their light. They didn't run away. They didn't run scared. They didn't let other people's opinions of them change their opinions of themselves. They stood tall. And they bond the annoying moment of the week to lead to the top dog of the week themselves because of the organization they are and the people that make up that organization. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the top dog of the week because I have spent enough time in the last 12 years around this organization to see that this team is truly something special. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, the perfect place, and in my opinion, the only place to bring your furry-loving friends. Head out to K9 Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in Syracuse, in East Syracuse, New York, right off of Bridge Street, right on the other side of BJ's there, across the street from BJ's. And, of course, you can go to the Kampground Dog Boarding down the road from the daycare on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse. If you want more information, you can call the daycare, K9 Camp Dog Daycare, at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. And you can call the campground for dog boarding if you need your dog to be there for a few more days. 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. The place to bring your dogs any size, any age, for them to feel at home, like family, and be treated by the best of us, led by Lorraine and her incredible team. Thank you to K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Thank you for listening to the Top Dog of the Week and watching it. And a shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who earned the right to be named Top Dogs of the Week. We'll take our final step aside of today's broadcast. When we come back, I will be here with Tay Baker joining me for an all-new edition of the Bobcat Buzz in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse. The women's basketball head coach Tay Baker joins us right after this inside of the Cafe Cubal Studios, where sports meets life.
Cafe Cubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cubal needs. Cafe Cubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. You know, they can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. Happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And inside of these Cafe Kubal Studios, you can go to Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. You can also go to the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners and have them there for you in their drive-through location in North Syracuse. And, of course, you can go to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and get to them today. So with that being said, very happy to be here with you where sports meets that thing called life. And we have the opportunity now to feature Tay Baker here on the broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in an all-new Bobcat buzz here in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. So without further ado, it is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to bring to the broadcast here inside of these Cafe Kubal Studios the women's basketball head coach of Bryant and Stratton, Mr. Tay Baker, here on the show. Tay, how are we doing today?
Dan, good morning. I'm doing very good. How's it going?
Doing well, man. So, you know, we've obviously been able to chronicle before the season a roundtable discussion with you and some of your student athletes, getting to know them personally and some one-on-one videos, talking with you as well throughout the season. And here we are in the middle of the season, in the midst of it all. And I just kind of want to broad scope it and kind of open up the door for you on what you've thought so far on coaching this team for the first time ever as their head coach.
So far, Dan, it's been pretty good. Every day's been a learning experience, but you know we're taking it one practice one day at a time. I think this semester our team came together a lot more. Everybody's just excited to be back, Dan.
You know, and having your student athletes back on campus, what do you do in that middle ground? You know, when we take a break for the holidays, for Christmas and Hanukkah and so on and so forth, and everybody gets to go home and relax for a bit. what do you do? What's kind of on your plate when you're with your family and you're relaxing and having those moments to kind of take a deep breath and get energized for the rest of the season? What are you working on while the student athletes are away?
Well, while the student athletes are away, I'm pretty much just taking time away from basketball. I know it might sound crazy, but I took like a step away from basketball just to, hang out with my family, take time to see my mom, my daughter. And then I took about a couple of days to do that. And then after that, I got right back to trying to find more games to add to our schedule, trying to come up with new drills, just to get us better for this semester. You know, a lot of things that we needed to work on last semester, I took this time to basically just go over with my assistant coach, Coach E. We just went over a few things and pretty much just got it ready for this semester.
Here with Tay Baker, Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats women's basketball head coach in his first season as the head coach of the team, was an assistant last year with the program. What have you learned the most about yourself, Tay, moving from the assistant role to the head coach position?
One of the things I learned was to go with my gut feeling, because there was a few times in the games where I second guessed myself and it backfired on me. I also learned to trust in my players. You know, you just gotta have faith in all your players. There's many things I learned coming from assistant coach to head coach. You got to be the bad guy, because before last year we played good cop bad cop with Coach Clay. I was like the good cop. Now I got to be the bad guy now, and sometimes the girls don't like the things I have to do in practice, like the discipline actions. So just taking it one day at a time.
And when you move, like you said, from good cop to bad cop, and having to lay down the discipline, and go from being kind of like a brother to them and now being a parent to them, as some coaches have described it, how have you seen yourself in this transition? Has it been a hard transition? Have you been able to shift from sibling to parent, so to speak? How do you view it?
It's been a little bit of a hard transition, because I did have a close relationships with a lot of the girls last year. Like you said, I was more like a big brother to them, and now it's like I am like their parent now. So like I have to tell them when they're wrong, and a lot of the times they don't like that. And when I have to discipline them, they don't like it. I just noticed the road change since I became head coach. But like I love it, but I noticed the change.
and when you and when, like you said, you love it, but you've noticed the change. What helped prepare you to be a disciplinarian? What mentor or mentors or something you've gone through in life has prepared you to take on this leadership role, in your opinion?
I believe a lot of these girls remind me of myself. Like a lot of the girls, just growing up in parks and recs around Syracuse, New York. Like I grew up growing up around McChesney Park and Wilson Park, and I had like mentors like myself that took me in. I had like a little attitude or whatever when I was younger, and that's what a lot of these girls have. But you just gotta be able to take time and have patience with them, just like my mentors did when I was growing up. I also think like Coach Clay also helped me out a lot on what to do and what not to do, and how to go about things when animosity happens. I felt like he did a good job preparing me for this position. Even though I didn't notice I was getting the position, I just felt like he did a good job preparing me.
And you say that Clay Gagan Sherman, the former women's basketball head coach, now the men's basketball head coach, he helped to prepare you for this. What did he do to help to prepare you?
I believe Coach Clay, he helped me get a lot more organized. Like, he always shows me like his to-do list or his checklist, or how he goes about like his practice plans or his game plans. He always shows me he's very organized. So I feel like that helped me out a lot coming into being the head coach this year. I still got a lot to learn as far as being organized, but yeah, he helped me out with that a lot, and I noticed that helped me out with the girls and just being prepared.
That coming here from Tay Baker, the women's basketball head coach, Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, in this exclusive Bobcat Buzz here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this morning inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Tay, for you, as you continue to grow and head into this next semester with the young women on your team, we see that this team has started off strong in your first season as a head coach, 8-1. Your only loss coming to Bryant and Stratton of Buffalo, 70-62. That game being a home game. So going back and looking at that loss, what did you learn from that? Because they say that sometimes the losses are the greatest teachers. What did that loss teach you?
That loss taught me to basically to humble ourselves. We were up 20 points, I believe. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but we were up 20 points, and we thought that the game was over, and we kind of just got relaxed. And I learned that we can never be relaxed even if we're up 20. The game isn't over until the clock says 0. I say that all the time to the girls, because I know you've seen there's been times where it's been close game and someone hit a buzzer beater. When someone thinking the game is over. So I just feel like we got to fight all the way to the end. And just stay focused, man.
In front, you look at, you started out 6-0, and then you took that loss, and then after taking that loss, you won your last 2 games with an 8-1 start in this first semester. As you get ready for the second half of the season here, which starts on January 21st on the road, what did you take away from these first 9 games and this 8-1 start up to this point about where your team is at and just what you've taken away from what you've seen?
What I've taken away is just like I said, we just got to stay together as a team. We started off 7-0 or something like that. Like you said, our only loss was Buffalo, and I feel like we needed that loss early in the season. It's better if we lost it early in the season than later on in the season. And I just feel like I'm just ready, Dan. I'm lost in words. I'm sorry, Dan.
Why is it better to lose earlier in the season than later, in your opinion, as a coach?
I just feel like if you with that type of game, because it was such an intense game, I just feel like because we're going to face them again, and I feel like we're better. We're going to be better prepared. I feel like if we had lost later on in the season, I just feel like it wouldn't have felt the same. Like I feel like because I feel like we're going to be a lot more prepared, and if we lose, when we go to nationals or something like that, we would be, 10 times more upset. I just feel like with this loss, it taught us how to stay together, how to, like I always say, if we're up, let's keep our foots on their neck. I just feel like later on in the season, when we get up 15 to 20 points, we're not going to let up like we did when we lost against Buffalo.
And for you, what makes you believe in the caliber of the team that you have right now, and the makeup of this team with the student athletes that you have? What makes you believe that this is a team that could potentially vie for a championship?
Because like you mentioned earlier, I was assistant coach last year, and with this team with a few other players, we made it to nationals. I just felt like we were missing just a few pieces, and this year we were able to add a couple pieces. As long as everything goes well, we were able to add a couple pieces, and I feel like those couple pieces we added will get us, to where we got to be this year in nationals.
And in January here, you got a couple games on the road, and then in the month of February, you have 5 games at home, which, for people to know, the Syracuse Boys and Girls Club is where Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse has their home games for men's and women's basketball. So you should definitely come out and see them at these games. You have 5 home games in the month of February. I know you got a couple games here in January, and I know as coaches you don't want to look ahead, but just for the scheduling of it all, what it means to you to know that you're going to have a bunch of games at home in February, to be in front of your hometown crowd and to be in familiar digs for a bit.
Yeah, man, it feels great. Like you said, is our hometown crowd. This is where I grew up at. Every home game we had so far, I had a lot of my family members show up. And like you said, in February with these upcoming home games, I would like more people at our games. to support us, because I noticed when we have the support that we had these last couple home games, we played a lot better. They gave us like a spark, a lot of energy, and it just felt good being home.
And Tay, before I let you go, you said it's hard to find the words because you're just ready to go. You're ready to get after it. You spent when the student athletes were away here for the holidays, you spent some time away and spent some time with your family, just kind of hanging out, getting away from basketball. When did you get back into it? Like, how long of a break do you give yourself? And when did you kind of start to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to give myself some time and now I'm going to come back in. What was your scheduling for yourself to have that personal time that I think is crucial? And then when did you come back?
So when we had our game in Berkeley in New York City, I pretty much just told all the girls, let's just have fun because we're going to be, going on break for a while. So we had fun that game. We won that game. And then I took a couple days off after I came home and I hung out with the family. Like, I literally took like maybe 2 days off. And then I got right back to the grind, man. Like, the grind never stops, Dan. And I'm going to be honest, I love the grind. So even though I need to take more time off, I feel like I just got right back to it. We had a good amount of, I think we had 3 weeks off, but it only took about 2 days out of the 3 weeks off. And I just been at it, looking to schedule more games, looking to schedule a scrimmage, looking for more players. Just been grinding, man.
And, because Bryant and Stratton has this unique situation when it comes to bringing in players as well as, scheduling and whatnot, they were here mid-season, and you could look to still add players, student athletes to your roster as well as adding games. What does that mean to you? And was that a lure for you to be a coach at Bryant and Stratton, that you had more flexibility than you would get in the NCAA as far as your roster goes and your scheduling goes?
Yeah, it helped us out. Like I said, this helped us out a lot. You seen the team we had at the first semester. We had a big that actually wanted to come and play for us. Like I said, as long as everything goes through, we just added another piece to our team that I feel like is going to help us go a long ways. And to answer your question, over the break, that's it feels good to just be able to continue grinding and recruiting. Like, I went to Henniger girls basketball game against CNS yesterday. I was scouting and recruiting there. Like, the grind don't stop, Dan. I just that's what. I'm sorry, Dan, someone walked in, but yep, that's the grind.
And you said, Tay, that you're just ready. You said you gave yourself a couple days, but you're just ready. It's hard to find the words. You just want to get back out there. You played at Bryant and Stratton. You know what it's like to play the game, to be around the game, to be on the court. This passion that you have, has it gotten even stronger with you as a coach? Has it changed? How would you describe your passion right now?
Dan, I would say the passion. I would say my passion did grow. I've been playing basketball since I was 12 years old, and this is something I always wanted to do. I know a lot of people would love this opportunity. I'm just blessed, and I thank God every day that I'm in this opportunity. And I'm just extremely happy. I know it might sound crazy, Dan, but I'm really that excited to be coaching. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't sound crazy to me. We need the passion like that. We talked about that all in the broadcast. Don't dim your spirit. Don't shut down your light for somebody else to feel better. So keep that light shining bright. Keep the spirit high and positive. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing you back on the court here in January and back at home in February for a bunch of games for Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse women's basketball. Tay, as always, I appreciate you. Congratulations on the 8-1 start, and I hope you continue to add more victories to that and have yourselves a fantastic semester coming up. And I hope that everything else works out as far as scheduling goes, as well as bringing in another player that you're looking to add to your roster. So I hope we continue to get good news and you continue to have fun here and enjoy and love what you do and do what you love. And I look forward to seeing you out there.
Yes, sir, Dan. Appreciate you, man. Happy New Year's and have a great day.
Happy New Year. Talk with you soon.
Yes, sir. Later.
See you. That coming from Tay Baker one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Always appreciate having Tay on the broadcast, and always appreciate having the Bobcats on the broadcast in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. That exclusive multimedia marketing partnership gets you conversations with student athletes, coaches, and administration you won't find anywhere else, coverage that you won't find anywhere else, and really connecting good people with more good people, which is what I'm all about here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, with that being said, I gave my predictions for what's coming up in the NFL playoffs this weekend, which I'm very, very excited about. I do want to make a note about Syracuse basketball, and to make a little note here for you before we get into some things with Lemoyne as well. Is better than maybe some people are going to give them credit for. And on top of that, the fact that they are 4-2 in the ACC is huge. 4-2 in the ACC, definitely an awesome place for them to be in. If you're going to win your games, I think about Lemoyne men's basketball in this case too. If you're going to win your game in the NE10, which is great for positioning, getting into the tournament, getting a good seed in the tournament, and obviously, hopefully, advancing yourself forward and putting yourself in a good situation to be a home team is what you hope to have here. On the women's side of things for Syracuse Orange women's basketball, the team is 13-4. Keep in mind, they played one exhibition game this season. That game was against the Lemoyne College Dolphins, and Mary Grimes in her second season with the team. Mary brought her team up the road to Syracuse University, to the Dome, and they fought hard in all four quarters, losing by a mere 3 points. Division I women's basketball for Syracuse, Division II for Lemoyne College Dolphins, and Lemoyne brought it to them, losing the game 73-70 in that matchup. And to put that into perspective, you look at other games that Syracuse has played. They defeated Stony Brook by 20+. They defeated Colgate by 20+. They defeated Binghamton by 20+. They defeated LIU by 20+. They defeated Bucknell by 17. They defeated Yale by 2 in that game, so that was a close game for them. They defeated Coppin State by almost 20. They defeated Wagner by 30 points. The Wake Forest game that they had, they won by 9. They defeated Albany by 20+, and they won over Clemson by double digits, and they beat Boston College by 10. So outside of the game that they played, when you look at the wins for the Syracuse Orange women's basketball team this year, they've only had 2 games come down to 1 possession. Those games were the exhibition in the wins that we're talking about here. So not looking at the losses, just strictly looking at the wins that Syracuse Orange women's basketball had. They only had 2 games come down to 1 possession that they won. The Yale game that they won on the road 60-58, and the Lemoyne exhibition that they won at home 73-70. So that says a lot about Lemoyne, with all of these other games being in Division I that they're going up against, and these games where they're winning by 20, multiple times 30 in certain situations, double digits in the majority of their victories, and against Yale by 2, against Lemoyne in an exhibition Division I to Division II by a mere 3 points. So shout out to the Lemoyne College Dolphins and everything that Mary Grimes is doing to have the team playing better than D1 teams that are going up against Syracuse Orange women's basketball. So shout out to that in that respect. On Syracuse Orange men's basketball side, like I was stating earlier, 4-2 in the conference, 11-6 overall. They got a game against Notre Dame that they'll be playing this weekend in the Dome. Their first game in the ACC came against Notre Dame on the road earlier this season, where they won by a point, 62-61. They'll have another crack at Notre Dame this time around, January 14th on Saturday, and that game will be at 7 p.m. Then they're on the road for a while. So if you don't go to the Dome this Saturday to see Syracuse men's basketball play up against Notre Dame on January 14th, you won't see them again until 10 days later on January 24th, when they play on Tuesday at 9 p.m. against North Carolina. They'll be on the road on January 16th on Monday at Miami, and on next Saturday, January 21st, they'll be at Georgia Tech. So Syracuse will have 10 days away from home, and 10 days in between their home games, I should say, from January 14th to January 24th, with 2 games on the road, one in Coral Gables in Miami, and the other in Atlanta, Georgia, against Georgia Tech. So that's going to have Syracuse have a little break here from being in the Dome. So we suggest you definitely come out and see that as the Syracuse Orange men's basketball team gets prepared to take on Notre Dame this weekend before heading on the road for a while. Now, the Lemoyne College Dolphins, as I mentioned, the women's basketball team and everything they've done under Mary Grimes, I do also want to make a note here that the women's basketball team is going to be in action for you with the Lemoyne College Dolphins as they continue their road toward the postseason for the NE10, as well as a hopeful berth in the NCAAs, which Mary Grimes led the team to do in her first season as a head coach ever, and her first season as head coach of the Lemoyne College Dolphins. The team is 10-5, 5-4 in the NE10 conference, 5-2 at home, 5-3 on the road currently. So a winning record at home and a winning record on the road. Their next game for the Lemoyne College Dolphins is going to take place January 14th, this Saturday at 1 o'clock against Southern New Hampshire University at Ted Grant Court. So you can come see the team play at home, on site, on location at Ted Grant Court, right off of Erie Boulevard in Syracuse, New York. Head out to Salt Springs Road to see the Lemoyne College Dolphins women's basketball team take on Southern New Hampshire this Saturday, January 14th at 1 o'clock. And then they'll be back at home on January 21st, the following Saturday, at 1 o'clock against Bentley University, another game inside of the NE10 as they continue their conference play. On the men's side of things for Lemoyne College, when we're talking about the basketball programs, Nate Champion and the team also have themselves a winning record, and they will take that winning record forward here. As I said, the majority of their wins coming in the conference, which are huge. They're 9-8 overall. 6 of those 9 wins have come in the conference, where they are 6-3. They've played 9 games in the conference here, so a little over half of their games this season have been played in conference, with 17 games, 8 of them out of conference, 9 in conference so far. 5-1 at home, 3-3 on the road, and 1-4 on neutral ground as they've played in some tournaments earlier on this season. Their next game is going to happen at Ted Grant Court in the doubleheader after the women's game at approximately 3 o'clock this Saturday, January 14th. You'll see Lemoyne take on Southern New Hampshire on Ted Grant Court, and then they'll be back at home at 3 o'clock to continue their next doubleheader with the women's team, which is against Bentley next Saturday, January 21st at 3 o'clock. So you got bookend doubleheaders this Saturday and next Saturday for men's and women's basketball at Lemoyne College at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock respectively for women's and men's teams for the basketball programs this Saturday against Southern New Hampshire, next Saturday against Bentley as they look to move forward here. And just to take a look at the NE10 conference itself and the standings on the basketball side of things, we'll take a look first at the women's basketball standings inside of the NE10 here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So taking a look at the standings for women's basketball in the NE10, where Lemoyne College calls home in Division II. They got rid of their divisions. They used to have a Northeast and a Southwest division. The NE10 has gotten rid of their division, so it's just one full conference now. Currently, Lemoyne is in 5th place in the conference with a 5-4 record. They have a shot of playing the top 2 teams to make some hay here in the conference. They'll play Southern New Hampshire, like I said, who's leading the conference at 8-1, and Bentley, who's second in the conference, also at 8-1. So they will be playing the top 2 teams in the women's basketball standings of the NE10. So Lemoyne has a shot here to get some more victories, move themselves forward, and make some statements here against Southern New Hampshire and Bentley to beat the top 2 teams in the conference here as we move forward in the season. On the men's side of things in the NE10, the Lemoyne men's basketball team is currently in 7th place in the NE10 men's basketball standings, and in 7th place, but it's very close here. Right above them is Southern New Hampshire, so if they get a win over them this weekend, they will jump them to be in the top 6 in the conference. And then Bentley is number 1 on the men's side of things in the NE10 for basketball, also with an 8-1 record to match their women's team. So if they beat Bentley, then they're making a case for themselves there to make some hay and move forward. Again, here to get a big win over the top team in the conference. And if they are to get victories against Southern New Hampshire and Bentley in the next 2 weekends here, we could see this team of Lemoyne for men's basketball move into the top 5 in the conference standings, which would be huge for them. So a lot of great basketball, playing teams that are above them in the conference standings. So these are huge statement-making games and games that could move them up in the standings as well. So a shout out to Lemoyne Dolphins as they take on their teams coming up this weekend. And Bryant and Stratton College, like I said, their men's and women's basketball teams, their women's basketball team will get back in action coming up later on here not this Saturday, but next Saturday. They will be on the road. The women's basketball team will be on Saturday, January 21st, playing a road game at Monroe College, and that game is going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The men's basketball team for Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse for the Bobcats will have their next game coming up here on January 19th. January 19th next week here. So their first game of the new semester will be at home, January 19th against Bryant and Stratton College of Rochester. That game is at 6 o'clock Thursday, January 19th at home, before they head on the road that Sunday to play at Washington Adventist at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, a team that they faced earlier this season in a 1-point loss, 62-61, looking to avenge that loss. So that's what life looks like for our teams here in the area. We appreciate you listening and watching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets life. And we will be with you with a bunch of spotlight specials. The show will broadcast a little bit differently next week, but we will have plenty of shows coming up for you starting at 9 o'clock in our normally scheduled time, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time is our normal broadcast time. Next week, our specials will start at 9 o'clock. We will have Mo Monday with Mo Neal in an exclusive conversation with the Syracuse Orange running back alum of over 2,500 yards and over 5 yards per carry in his career at Syracuse, getting an opportunity with the XFL's San Antonio Brahmas. We'll talk with Mo on Mo Monday. We will have two specials of Two Mics No Filter with Andrea Smith, my co-host for our segment Two Mics No Filter. Andrea will be joining me not once but twice this upcoming week, and I'm very excited to have her on the broadcast. We will have a double dose of the Dolphin Dive, say that 10 times fast, and we will be featuring members of the men's and women's basketball teams. Very happy to have Isaiah Salter of the men's basketball team joining us, and LaToya Baker will be joining us for the women's basketball team, as we just spoke on both of the Lemoyne Dolphins men's and women's basketball teams here. We will have a representative of each in the Dolphin Dive coming to you this coming Wednesday on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We will also be featuring Randy Etzel, a longtime coach. He was an assistant at Syracuse and helped to bring in the likes of the wonderful Rob Drummond, one of my closest friends. So Randy Etzel did have a connection here to the Syracuse Orange, then went off and coached UConn twice, coached Maryland, and always happy to have Randy on the show. We're going to be doing a really cool special with Randy Etzel coming up this week as well, so very excited to have Randy on the broadcast. Jason Lucas, my good friend who's been on both ends of the spectrum of the sports world, from inside of sports teams to the outside in the media, and so he will be spending a lot of time with us this week in his own special. Jason Lucas joining the show as well, and there may be something else coming. So a lot of great stuff coming up this week. Very happy to feature that with you, so can't wait to have all these specials kick off this week at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. And of course, you can also be with our show on MixLR.com /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage where the live feed is embedded. So make sure you check us out there. We appreciate you being here where sports meets life. And of course, once the shows go live, you can find us in the archive on Amazon Music, as well as Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. A proud thanks to all of our wonderful partners in the community here in Central and Upstate New York, to Cafe Cubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, 317 at Montgomery Street. The name of the restaurant is the name of their location, 317 Montgomery Street in downtown Syracuse. Great Lakes Honda City, the former Honda City of Liverpool. Chick-fil-A Watertown, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Pizza Man, and Wake Up Call is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. The Dolphins are here with us in Dolphin time, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time, exclusively on Wake Up Call. We bring you AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, as well as Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. To find out all of our content with the Dolphins, including our exclusive series on realignment and reclassification as Lemoyne looks at either staying D2 or moving to NCAA Division I. All of that is available on the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. All of our Dolphin content also available by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And for more information on your Dolphins, go to their newly redesigned website, LemoyneDolphins.com. Like today, the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse come to you exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and what we call the Bobcat Buzz. With student athletes, coaches, and administration, we have interviewed national champions, upstart programs that are coming into Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse for the first time, and giving you the exclusives when it comes to coaches moving on and coaches coming into Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, as well as roundtables with the leadership at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse and student athletes in rapid-fire conversations that you will not want to miss. All of that content on the BSC Syracuse tab on wakeupcalldt.com and by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking subscribe. For more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. I want to thank you for an incredible week of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora that started off with Papa Joe and ended here today with Tay Baker. I thank you so much for your support. I welcome you proudly into the new year, and I implore you to be with me with all of our specials that we will be featuring next week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, featuring Andrea Smith in Two Mics, No Filter, a show within a show that we bring to you that truly has no filter, giving the ideas, thoughts, feelings from Andrea as well as myself. And, of course, my special coming up with Jason Lucas, who is a mainstay on the show. My special with Randy Etzel, Mo Monday with Mo Neal, and our Dolphin Dives with LaToya Baker and Isaiah Salter. Plenty of great things coming up this coming week. In the meantime, be with us all the time on Facebook, at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter, at Call DT, and Instagram, at WakeUpCall_DT. Follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. Do the same thing on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Find us on all those podcasting platforms that I gave you. And, of course, from the Cafe Kubal Studios, a big thanks again for all of you supporting local and small business in our central and upstate New York community. Because by building each other up, we will full circle build up our communities and build up ourselves. So by helping your neighbor, you're essentially helping yourself as well. Let's continue to be good to each other in our community, love each other up, and as always, God bless, no stress, do your best.